So the next topic 2.2, is about security considerations for delivering remote support. So we've got authentication and authorization, remote wipe, remote desktop, and managed BYOD. Okay, so remote wipe is all about mobile device management console, so MDM, where you can an administrator can wipe a device remotely. So if it's lost on a train, etc., it can be deactivated. You can also, install certain apps for different users remotely, and you can also completely reconfigure the system and install, all the company information from the beginning with an MDM solution. So this is usually performed by a system administrator. It brings down the amount of administrative duties and brings down that sort of maintenance cost. Okay, so with BYOD, though it's cost effective where a company doesn't need to buy devices for employees because they bring in their own, it is a big security risk because the administrators lost control because that device is no longer part of the asset register for that company. So you're going to need to have in place a policy where you know exactly what devices can or cannot connect to the network. So if it's a legacy device, such as a device running Windows 7, for example, where support's run out, it's not a good idea to have that being allowed to connect to the network because the security patches won't be in place and it's a security risk. BYOD is all about reducing that administrative load, but still making sure it's secure. So separating employees or the personal information from company information is essential. So is there certain websites they can't access on the BYO system? So do they need to connect separately through some sort of two-factor authentication to get in? Is a good method of separating the data. It needs to be continually monitored as well, so that staff members aren't trying to access apps or jailbreaking the system. So they need to have sort of a process in place where only certain business apps or websites can be accessed through a BYOD solution. Okay, so it's all about security. So the pros are the cost savings and the reducing the administrative load, hopefully. However, it's a security risk. So security always needs to be at the forefront of any policy, including in BYOD. Okay, authentication versus authorization. So these are two different words and two different definitions. So authentication is used by a server when the server needs to know who exactly is accessing that information or a site. So if you're going onto a website that you are a member of, you are being authenticated by your password. Okay. Authorization is a process by which the server determines if the client has permission to use a resource or access a file. Okay, so are you authorized to access certain information on a system through your credentials? It should point you in the correct direction. So do you have read access? Do you have read and write access, etc.? So that's authorization, where authentication is just simply seeing who that person is to access the information. Okay, so two very different things. Technologies used to authenticate are, retina scans, voice recognition, fingerprint readers, two-factor authentication, PIN codes,